At 80, I realized one important thing: calm doesn't necessarily mean happiness. Many people think, in old age, we just need a safe place. But what we often need is a sense of understanding. This story isn't about sadness. It's not about blaming anyone. It's about listening to the inner voice we often ignore. I moved to a nursing home with the hope that life would be easier. More organized. Easier. But slowly, I learned, life isn't just about being cared for. Life is also about being appreciated. Here, we talk about simple days. About small conversations. About roles, freedom, and the meaning of home. Not out loud. Not with excessive emotion. Just a quiet story from someone who has come a long way in life. If you are in your twilight years, or accompanying someone you love, this story is an invitation to pause, to breathe deeply, and to remember, we still matter. We still have value. At any age. Listen quietly. Feel with your heart, because this story might also be about you. I'm 80 years old. At this age, time no longer runs. It moves slowly, like an old man enjoying a park in the afternoon. Every step has meaning. Every second feels clearer. Many people say, as you get older, life should be quieter. But today, I want to share a small truth. Quiet doesn't necessarily mean happy. I moved into a nursing home, hoping my life would be easier. Less of a hassle. Safer. More organized. But as time passed, I realized something slowly, but deeply. I regret it. Not because the place was bad. Not because the people were bad. But because a small part of me was slowly disappearing. And today, I want to tell it all in simple language, with a calm heart, so that anyone who listens, at any age, in any country, can feel less alone. Before we go any further, let me pause for a moment. If this story feels close to your heart, if this voice accompanies your mornings or nights, I invite you to support this channel. Not with anything big. Just a like, a subscription, or a quick comment like. Thank you, I'm listening. Your small support is like an empty chair next to me. It makes me feel accompanied. Thank you. Reason 1. Days I no longer choose. When I still lived alone, my days were simple. I didn't wake up to a clock. I woke up to the morning light touching my face. Sometimes I sat by the window for a long time, just to watch the sky change colors. Sometimes I delayed breakfast because I wanted to finish the old story in my head. In the nursing home, the day began with a bell. Not a loud bell. Not an angry bell. But enough to remind me, today was scheduled. Wake up time, meal time, sitting time, break time. Everything was fine. Everything was neat. But slowly, I felt like a guest in my own life. Living in a nursing home felt like wearing a watch that wasn't yours. It worked fine. It wasn't broken. It kept the time. But every time we looked at it, we realized this wasn't the time we chose. And at 80, choosing the little things is our way of saying, I'm still here. I didn't lose comfort. I didn't lose security. What I lost was the sense of ownership of my own day. And that, in old age, is a precious thing. I once said to a friend, my life is so organized here. Even my thoughts are in line. We laughed softly, because a chuckle still makes my chest feel lighter. This experience taught me one thing. Old age isn't about being controlled. Old age is about being respected. Not being respected loudly. Not with big words. But by making room. To choose the small things. Choosing to sit longer. Choosing to be silent without reason. Choosing to remember without haste. If you're listening to this today, remember, we don't get smaller with age. We just walk more slowly. And walking slowly is not a mistake. Next, we'll talk about something invisible, but deeply felt. The loneliness that comes even when we're not alone. At 80, I've learned that loneliness doesn't always mean being alone in a room. Sometimes, we can be surrounded by people, but still feel empty. And this is the second reason why I regret moving to a nursing home. Reason 2. Unacknowledged loneliness in a nursing home. There are always people. There are friendly staff. There are other residents smiling. There are footsteps in the hallway every day. But the loneliness I feel isn't due to a lack of people, but rather a lack of closeness. Conversations are often brief. Ask how things are. Answer as needed. Then it's over. There's nothing wrong with that. Everyone is busy going about their day. But in old age, what we need isn't just voices, but stories that linger longer. This loneliness is like sitting in an airport waiting room. Lots of people around. Lots of noise. Lots of movement. But everyone is waiting for a different flight. We see each other, but we don't really walk together. Loneliness isn't about the number of people. It's about the depth of connection. And at 80, that depth becomes more important than speed. I once said to myself, the hallways here are long, but the conversations are often short. I smiled, because a small smile is the heart's way of coping. Imagine an afternoon. The sun is setting slowly. Orange light touches the floor. The chairs are neatly arranged. We sit close together, but each is lost in his own thoughts. In moments like that, I don't want advice. I don't want solutions. I just want someone to say, tell me about your day. From this experience, I learned one important thing. In old age, we don't crave entertainment. We crave being heard. And listening doesn't take much time. It just requires being present. If you're watching this today, and you're accompanying your parents, or are in your own old age, remember, sometimes one simple conversation can be the light of an entire day. Next, we'll discuss something that's often invisible, but slowly erodes enthusiasm, a sense of loss of role in life. At 80, we no longer pursue many things, but we still want to be needed. And this is the third reason why I regret moving to a nursing home. Reason 3, no longer feeling needed throughout my life. I've had a role. I've been the one who woke up early to make sure everything was going well. I've been the one to ask questions, the one to share stories with, the one to come home to. But after moving to the nursing home, that role slowly faded. Not because I was incapable, not because others did it on purpose, but because the system ran itself, without my involvement. It felt like being an old clock that still ticked, but no longer hung on the wall. It wasn't broken. It still kept the correct time, but because it wasn't visible, people forgot it was still working. And in old age, feeling seen is just as important as feeling cared for. We don't stop being useful because we age. We stop being useful when we're not given opportunities. And small opportunities can turn an ordinary day into a meaningful one. I once said with a smile, now I have only one task: to spend my time well. We chuckled, because laughter still makes my shoulders feel lighter. Imagine a quiet morning. I'm sitting in a chair by the window. My hands are still in my lap. My eyes follow the clouds moving slowly. No one asks for help. No one asks for my opinion. And in that moment, I realized, it wasn't the busyness I missed, but the feeling of contributing. I learned one important thing. Every human being, at any age, wants to feel significant. Not with big tasks, not with heavy responsibilities, but with small things: watering a plant, listening to a story, or simply being given space to share life experiences. If you're watching this today, remember, playing a small role is a big gift to someone's heart. Next, we'll discuss two simple things that are often taken for granted, but mean so much in old age: small freedoms and the meaning of home. These are the final two reasons why I regret moving to a nursing home. Not with anger, not with bitter regret, but with calm understanding. Reason 4, losing small freedoms at 80. We're no longer chasing big freedoms. We're not talking about long trips, or major life changes. The freedoms we long for are actually very simple. Choosing to sit longer in the morning light. Choosing to walk slowly without a destination. Choosing to be quiet without having to explain. In a nursing home, everything is done with good intentions. To care, to protect, but overprotection sometimes feels like a fence that's too tight. It's like holding a small bird in your hand. If you hold it too tightly, the bird can't breathe. If we gently open our arms, the bird stays, because it feels safe. So do humans in old age. We don't need to be let go. We need to be trusted. A small freedom is self-respect. Self-respect is mental health. And mental health is just as important as physical health. I once smiled and said, "My life is so safe now, even surprises require permission." We laughed softly, because laughter is still a bridge between hearts. Reason 5. A nursing home isn't home. For me, this place is clean, organized, safe. But home is not about walls. Home is a place where memories breathe. In my old house, every corner had a story. The chairs knew the shape of my body. The walls knew the sound of my laughter. In the nursing home, everything was neat, but silent. Home is like a comfortable old shoe. It may not look new. It may not be perfect. But it molds to the shape of our feet. And at 80, inner comfort is more important than outward appearance. From this entire journey, I've learned one big thing. Getting older doesn't mean losing your choices. Getting older means choosing more wisely. A nursing home isn't the wrong place. For some, it's the best home. But for me, home is where my heart can breathe. Remember, there's no one-size-fits-all answer. The most important thing is to listen to your heart, slowly, honestly, and lovingly. These are 5 reasons I'd like to share. Not to judge. Not to scare. But to remind us all that every age deserves dignity, choice, and belonging. May this story be a warm companion in your days. Before we truly part today, let me say one important thing. If you can still hear this voice, it means life still gives you time. Time to breathe. Time to remember. And time to feel meaningful. As we age, we often feel like the world is moving too fast. But in truth, we are the ones walking with more wisdom. The story you heard today is not just about regret. It's a story about awareness. About seeing life with softer eyes. If there's one thing I want to leave you with, it's this. It's never too late to listen. It's never too old to appreciate. Every wrinkle is a roadmap. Every breath is a small gift. And every day we live still has meaning. I'm grateful to be able to sit with you today, even if only through a screen. I'm grateful that this story found its way into your heart. If you're an older person watching this, remember. You are not a burden. You are the story of life. If you're accompanying an elderly person, remember. Listening is often more valuable than providing solutions. Life doesn't ask us to be perfect. Life only asks us to be present. Be present with a small smile. Be present with patience. Be present with gratitude for the simple things. Sometimes happiness doesn't come from a new place, but from a heart that feels understood. If this story touched you, I cordially invite you to press the like button, so this video can reach more hearts. Share this video with someone who might need a warm word today. Subscribe to this channel, so we can continue walking together in comforting stories. Turn on the notification bell, so you don't miss the next story. And if you like, leave a short comment. It doesn't have to be long. Just one sentence is enough. Your voice matters. Thank you for taking the time. Thank you for listening with your heart. May your day be filled with peace. May your steps always be filled with gratitude. Until we meet again, take care of yourself gently.